Let Pooh know it's up too. Let Pooh know it like that. Cause y'all must think I'm or something. You ain't even no gangster, boy. You tripping.
Pooh Shiesty and Honeycomb Brazy situation just took a serious turn, and now everybody's locked in watching. Honeycomb Brazy was recently seen outside in Mobile, Alabama, speaking openly and calling out Pooh Shiesty by name. And what you just heard, that's not a diss track, not some online back and forth, and definitely not industry drama for attention. This runs way deeper than music. This is someone who's already dealt with real loss tied to street issues, now back outside making it clear how far things have gone. Right now, both sides are moving in silence, and somehow that quiet tension feels louder than anything else happening. No posts, no replies, just a heavy pause that's got people wondering what's coming next. By the time this gets fully broken down, it'll make sense how things reached this point, because this didn't start with a song or a social media post. This goes back way further, long before most people were even paying attention. The roots of this situation run deep, connecting Memphis, Tennessee all the way to Mobile, Alabama in ways a lot of people don't even realize. There's real history here, real ties and layers that go beyond what's being shown on the surface. To really understand why that live moment felt different and why Honeycomb's words hit harder than what you usually hear from artists, you've got to look at everything behind it, not just what's being said right now. You need the full picture on both of these men.
You need to go, how you add me in that post, add Pooh Shiesty too now. Y'all stay adding the Brazy, go add Pooh.
Pooh Shiesty not just the music highlights, but the real story behind everything. Honeycomb Brazy, straight out of Mobile, Alabama, grew up in one of the toughest areas along the Gulf Coast. He's been putting his life on social media long before it became a trend or a strategy. Before people were going live just for views, he was already showing his reality because that's how he was living every day. His music, his lives, his posts, all of it reflects a lifestyle most people only hear about or see in documentaries. There's no act here, no switching it up for the camera. He's always been the same because that's all he knows. But what really separates Honeycomb from other artists in similar lanes is something deeper. This is someone who's already gone through a level of personal loss that changes you for life. Not in a legal sense, but in a way that stays with you mentally and emotionally. Back in February 2021, Honeycomb Brazy's grandparents, Tony and Latoya Lewis, lost their lives inside their home in Mobile, Alabama, and the situation shook a lot of people paying attention. Reports linked the incident to an individual identified as Darren Southall, and it was believed to be targeted as a message aimed at Honeycomb through his family. During the incident, multiple loud sounds were reported, and the impact caused oxygen tanks inside the home to rupture, leading to a devastating fire that made everything worse. The house was quickly overtaken by flames, and Tony and Latoya Lewis didn't make it out. What makes it even more shocking is what reportedly sparked it all: a Facebook post. Something shared by someone connected to Honeycomb upset the wrong person, and things escalated in the worst possible way. Two elderly people who had nothing to do with it lost their lives. And that painful reality is the foundation Honeycomb is standing on today. That kind of loss doesn't just fade, it stays with you and shapes how you move forever. So when you hear him speaking during that live, when Honeycomb says he's ready to stand on what he's claiming, that's not someone just talking tough for attention. That's a man who's already seen the worst outcome up close, who's lived through deep personal loss and still chooses not to back down. Keep that in mind moving forward, because it changes how every word from that moment sounds. It hits differently when you understand what's behind it. Now, shifting over to Pooh Shiesty. Coming out of South Memphis, he quickly became one of the most talked about artists from the city in recent years. He linked up with Gucci Mane under 1017 Records and dropped tracks like Back in Blood and Guard Up that took off fast. He went from local buzz to major success quicker than most expected. Memphis has always had a strong music history, but Pooh had a rare mix: real-life credibility and wide appeal at the same time. Then things took a turn when legal issues stepped in, slowing down his momentum. He served his time and eventually returned home. Now he's focused on rebuilding, dropping new music, reconnecting with fans, and trying to regain the energy that got interrupted along the way. From the outside, it looks like someone locked in on moving forward, putting his career first and staying focused on what's next. But then, Honeycomb Brazy starts saying his name while standing on a block in Mobile, Alabama. And now everything shifts. Here's the part almost everyone talking about this is missing. This didn't start with a diss track, not with a slick lyric, not even with a shady post online. This goes way deeper than entertainment. This situation traces back to long-standing connections linking Memphis street circles to parts of Alabama for years, long before either of these artists had deals or mainstream attention. A lot of people think Memphis and Mobile are completely separate worlds, different states, different vibes, no overlap, but that's not really how things move in the South. These cities are connected through relationships, shared history, people relocating, and overlapping circles that naturally link over time, whether planned or not. Artists come up in similar environments, cross paths, and end up connected through mutual contacts, business moves, and past situations most outsiders never hear about. Honeycomb Brazy already had ongoing issues with multiple individuals connected to circles around Memphis, including ones overlapping with Pooh Shiesty's environment. And this isn't just music competition or industry tension. In that world, if your people have issues with someone, you inherit that tension too. There's no stepping back and saying, that's not my problem. Once your circle is involved, the decision is already made before you even speak. So Honeycomb is already moving in a space where Memphis isn't seen as neutral ground. Then you bring Pooh Shiesty into it, and more importantly, someone close to him, Big 30. Big 30 isn't just a music collaborator. They've both said they're like brothers long before any fame or deals came in. Wherever one goes, the other is tied in. That loyalty runs deep, and that's just how things operate in their environment. Now here's where things connect even more. Back in October 2020, Big 30 had a legal situation in Birmingham, Alabama while traveling from Memphis, and reports mentioned items found in the vehicle during that stop. Birmingham isn't Mobile, but it's still Alabama, and in the bigger picture of how these regional ties work, that detail matters more than people think. It shows someone closely connected to Pooh Shiesty has history moving through that state. And by how their circles operate, that kind of link suggests involvement runs deeper, whether intentional or not. It's not always about direct actions. Sometimes it's about who you're connected to and how far those connections reach. When you put everything together, Honeycomb's past issues with Memphis-linked circles, Big 30's documented presence in Alabama, and his close bond with Pooh Shiesty, it starts forming a clearer picture. Add in the overlapping networks between Mobile and Memphis that have been building for years, and it becomes obvious these two were bound to cross paths at some point. This is where the story shifts from behind-the-scenes tension into something that almost sounds unreal. You ready for this? Because what pushed everything into the spotlight wasn't what anyone expected. It reportedly started with a video game. Word is, someone from Pooh Shiesty's side allegedly ran into Honeycomb Brazy online, beat him in the game, and then took it further by clowning him publicly. And yeah, it sounds wild at first, a video game causing all this, but you gotta understand how things are viewed in their world. Moments like that, especially when they play out publicly, aren't always seen as harmless fun. It can be taken as disrespect, like someone testing you to see how you'll respond. It's similar to someone embarrassing you in front of a crowd and then laughing about it. It sends a message, whether serious or not. And Honeycomb Brazy isn't known for ignoring that kind of energy. So he went live right then, standing outside. And you could hear it in his voice instantly. This wasn't for show. This wasn't someone performing for attention. This was someone speaking from real emotion, making it clear where he stands. During that live, he said, "Y'all supposed to be going up right now. Y'all must think I'm some kind of joke. You got everything in the world and you're out here calling out my people on a video game, but when it's real life, y'all don't pop it back. That's the type of people y'all are." That right there felt like a clear message. Honeycomb was drawing a line publicly and challenging the other side to respond. But then the live took a deeper turn, because he stopped focusing on Pooh Shiesty's side and started calling out his own city, Mobile, Alabama, and the people around him. And this is where the weight of everything really shows. He said, "Every time I say something, y'all go up on Brazy. Y'all only want to go with me, but y'all won't go with Pooh. Y'all letting out of town come play with Alabama like that, and y'all don't pop it back. Y'all some hoes." That sounds like someone feeling let down by his own people in real time. It's not just frustration, it's deeper. It's feeling like the support isn't there when it matters most. And when you understand how emotions work in high-pressure environments like this, that mindset can get serious. Because now it's not just about issues with Pooh Shiesty anymore. It becomes about loyalty, about whether his own city stands with him or not. That kind of pressure builds fast when it's coming from both outside and inside at the same time. Toward the end of that live, he said something that really made people pause. He said he was fully standing on what he believed in and ready to face whatever came with it. And this is where everything starts tightening up. Because once words like that are out in public, there's no taking them back. That live didn't stay between a few people. It spread fast, reaching fans, other artists, and people connected to both sides. Now the pressure shifts again. When something like this goes viral, it creates expectations. People start watching closely, waiting to see who responds, who stays quiet, and what happens next. On one side, you've got Honeycomb Brazy speaking openly, putting his emotions out there. On the other, Pooh Shiesty has stayed quiet publicly, and that silence is making people read into everything even more. Some see it as him staying focused and not feeding into the situation. Others think a response is coming, just not right away. Either way, that silence is adding more tension to an already heated situation. Then you've got fans online picking sides, replaying clips, breaking down every word, and adding their own opinions into the mix. That kind of attention can push things further, because now it's not just personal, it's public pressure building in real time. The reality is, situations like this don't stay in one lane. Music, personal history, outside voices, and online reactions all start blending together, making everything more complicated. Some people understand better than anyone how fast situations like this can move beyond the internet and turn into something much more serious in real life. And even with that awareness, he was still outside on live, making it clear he wasn't backing down. That's not someone just talking for attention. That's someone who seems to have already accepted how far things could go and is still standing firm on what he's saying. Now, this is where people really started connecting the dots, and you've got to follow this closely because it goes deeper than just that live moment. During the stream, Honeycomb mentioned LDO, and for people familiar with Mobile's local dynamics, that name carries weight. That's not something random being said. It points to groups and affiliations with real history and real ties in that area. Bringing that up while also calling out people connected to Pooh Shiesty's circle suggests this situation may involve more than just two individuals. It starts hinting at wider connections, deeper alliances, and layers that go beyond music. This is where things become more complex, because now you're not just looking at artists, you're looking at networks, long-standing relationships, and territorial ties that existed long before fame. He said that right after talking about showing up and standing on business, and that changes how people hear it. That doesn't come off like a simple shout-out. It sounds more like coded language, like he's signaling how and his circle operate, no matter the consequences. Then there's another part that really stood out. Honeycomb Brazy made it clear during that live that this situation isn't about music at all. He said, "I ain't riding with y'all. That Alabama stuff got nothing to do with Brazy. I'm in my own lane. This ain't rap smoke." That right there removes any doubt. When someone with a platform, a fan base, and real opportunities makes it clear this isn't about music, you have to take it seriously. That seriously. Because it means this situation isn't something that gets handled with a song, a response track, or quiet conversations behind the scenes in the industry. It points to something deeper, something that goes beyond entertainment. And situations like that usually follow a completely different path, one that doesn't play out on social media the way music drama normally does. But there's another angle people are looking at. In certain environments, situations like this don't just get ignored. Pooh Shiesty didn't reach his level, go through what he went through, and come back focused by being someone who overlooks things that matter to him. So that silence might not mean everything is calm. It could also mean he's choosing to move carefully, thinking things through, and not reacting publicly right away. Now, where does everything stand right now? Honeycomb Brazy hasn't backed down at all. He hasn't taken back anything he said, hasn't softened his stance, and hasn't made any public move to resolve things. He made his position clear while standing outside, put it out for everyone to see, and left it there. Someone looking for a way out usually shows it by now, but that's not what's happening here. On the other side, Pooh Shiesty has kept moving like someone focused on rebuilding. He's been putting energy into music, reconnecting with supporters, and getting his momentum back after time away. From the outside, that looks like a calculated approach, like someone choosing long-term success over getting pulled into tension. But here's where it gets tricky. Honeycomb doesn't see that silence the same way. Instead of reading it as peace, it can come off as avoiding the situation altogether. And in the environments they come from, that kind of perception doesn't lower pressure, it builds it. Every day without clarity or resolution makes things feel more intense. People are split right down the middle. Some are standing firmly with Brazy, others feel like he's moving the wrong way. And then there are those staying quiet, just watching everything unfold from a distance. Meanwhile, people connected to Memphis and the 1017 circle seem alert but not stepping in, while others online treat the whole situation like entertainment. But underneath all that noise, this isn't just talk. It's real people in real cities making serious decisions about where they stand. One of the most overlooked moments from that live was something Honeycomb said almost casually, but it carried real weight. He said all he was trying to do was bring his city together. That was his mindset going into all of this. He wasn't trying to create problems. He felt disrespected while trying to build something positive. And instead of support, he felt like he got laughed at. And now look where things landed. Someone aiming for unity is now caught in public tension spreading across social media. There's a deeper layer to that too, especially considering everything he's already been through. The same platforms that connect people can also amplify problems, and that contrast is hard to ignore when you really think about it. Now, take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because this situation is just one example of something larger happening in the culture right now. Honeycomb Brazy's grandparents lost their lives following a situation connected to a Facebook post. Not music, not a track, just something shared online that reached the wrong person and escalated out of control. Honeycomb knows better than most what can happen when things said online spill into real life. He's already lived through the kind of outcome people hope never happens. And still, here we are watching him back on live in another public confrontation that started from something as small as a video game. That says a lot about the environment around all of this. The current culture pushes people to respond, to prove themselves, and to stand firm in public spaces where attention is everything. Because once something plays out in front of everyone, stepping back isn't always seen as the smart move. In certain circles, it can be viewed the wrong way, and that pressure makes situations even harder to handle. Now, both of these men are in a tough position. Honeycomb went public because he felt disrespected in public. Now, Pooh Shiesty has to decide how to respond, if he responds at all, while people are watching closely. It's not a simple situation with an easy answer. Every move comes with attention, opinions, and reactions that can push things further than intended. And that's what makes everything feel so tense right now. There's no clear path that keeps everyone satisfied. That uncertainty is what keeps people locked in, waiting to see what happens next. One thing that stands out, Honeycomb Brazy isn't known for putting on an act. His past experiences are real, and they've shaped how he responds to situations like this. And Pooh Shiesty comes from Memphis, a city known for producing artists who stay solid under pressure, which adds another layer to how this might play out. So whatever direction this goes, understand this isn't about music numbers, views, or online attention. Both of these men have real stakes involved that go far beyond social media. And right now, neither side seems ready to step back first. That's what makes everything feel so tight, because nobody wants to be seen as the one who folded. So what happens next? In the best-case scenario, someone with real respect and influence steps in behind the scenes, someone both sides actually listen to, who can have a real conversation away from cameras and timelines. Because situations like this can be settled quietly when the right people get involved and pride gets set aside. It's happened before, and it can happen again when handled the right way. But if it doesn't go that route, things can head somewhere much more serious, and most people already understand what that means without it needing to be spelled out, especially if you've been following everything. From the past losses, the house fire, the social media post that played a role in starting it all, the Alabama connections, and the different groups being mentioned. At that point, it's clear this isn't just talk. It's something that can have real-life consequences if it keeps escalating. One thing is clear, Honeycomb Brazy isn't putting on a show for attention. This isn't about algorithms or viral moments. This is someone standing firm on his position after going through experiences that would change anyone. And that's what makes this situation so hard to ignore right now. It's not just about what's being said, it's about what hasn't been said yet. Because silence can mean a lot of different things depending on how you read it. It can mean someone is staying focused, moving smart, and choosing not to react publicly. Or it can mean something is building behind the scenes that people just don't see yet. At the same time, the spotlight keeps growing. Every post, every clip, every reaction adds more attention, and that kind of pressure can push things in directions nobody originally planned. What started small has now turned into a situation being watched from every angle. Fans, critics, and people connected to both sides are all paying attention, trying to read every move. And the longer things stay unresolved, the more unpredictable it becomes. Because when there's no clear outcome, people start expecting something to happen just to break the tension. Right now, both sides are standing firm in their own way. One being vocal and direct, the other moving quietly and staying low-key. And that contrast is what has everybody locked in, because nobody knows which approach is going to shape what happens next. And Pooh Shiesty didn't reach his level by moving careless. That's just not how he operates. So whatever's happening behind the scenes right now is definitely not nothing. Silence from someone in his position doesn't always mean everything is calm. Sometimes it just means things are being handled differently, away from the spotlight. This situation is still active, still unfolding, and the next move from either side is going to say a lot about where this is headed. So stay locked in, stay aware, and most importantly, hope this finds a calm resolution before it turns into something more serious. Because at the end of the day, real lives and real people are tied to all of this. If this breakdown helped you understand everything better, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe and stay tapped in. More drops coming regularly, and it's always real talk. And I want to hear from you. What do you think happens next? Does this situation get resolved, or does it keep building? And how do you read Pooh Shiesty's silence? Is he staying focused, or is there more happening behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments.